Hi, guys, and welcome. My name is Dr. Ngozi Onuoha. I'm a physician and health educator. Welcome to Health for Nigeria. This is a blended podcast, and this show will also be sent to YouTube. We have a broad range of topics on Health for Nigeria. Today, we have a very special guest. His name is Michel Johnson, and AKA MJ The Mastermind. He is the founder and CEO of the Mastermind Group. He's a mindset and development coach, and he helps people become the best version of themselves in all areas of life while obtaining financial freedom. Welcome, Michel.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ngozi. I'm very, very grateful to be here and happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad we managed to schedule this conversation, and I'm sure the audience, the listeners, and the viewers are really going to benefit from the information that you're going to share with us. So, before we dive in, tell me about your story. What's your story?
Yeah, so, I was originally born in Liberia, on the west coast of Africa, in the middle of the Civil War, so it was a very troubling time, during that time. Luckily, my dad, he was at the right place at the right time. He filled out an application, and a couple of days later, they called him saying that he won, the ability to, move to the States.
Wow.
So, by God's grace, me and my family were able to escape Liberia, in the middle of that civil war. And I came to America when I was 3 years old. Right. And, growing up, I was a very curious child, very, very quiet, loved sports, loved basketball. But I fell in love with technology. I fell in love with computers, being born in 1993, right when, the internet, computers was taking off. So been on the computer since I was a kid. Right. And I ended up going to Temple University and graduating with an electrical computer engineering degree. Right. So I've worked in IT and engineering for a few years. But in college, I developed a strong desire, for, personal development, self-development, um, the law of attraction, all things related to that, and really just start absorbing that content and, being a voracious reader and studying, that content, because I was always looking for, you know, that thing, like what was that thing that made everything make sense, right? And once I started to learn about these different topics, metaphysics and the universal laws and things like that, it really started to make sense. And I really became obsessed with it, with personal development. And growing up, I knew I always wanted, to be financially free, right? And that was something that, I just saw as a kid, but my dad exposing me to, just taking me on different drives to different neighborhoods and things like that. So, I always desired that. So, just, based on that, in November, I started my business based around, personal development, financial literacy, and mindfulness, the Mastermind Group. And it's been a great journey, but everything that I've been through, really made me the person I am today. And that's how I got here. Yeah.
That's a really wonderful story. So I'm just wondering, when you were growing up in Liberia, what was the first, I guess, technology gadget that really inspired you to say, oh, you wanted to go into technology? Was it a cell phone or was it a laptop or tablet? I'm just wondering.
Yeah. So I was really young. So I came over when I was 3.
Mhm.
Um, so I was really, really young, probably some things around the house, but when we got to the States, I think that's where, that love grew. That's when I started like fixing like the TV, the cable box, the internet around the house and things like that as a kid. And I was always into like the Game Boys, the different, handheld gaming systems and things like that. So anything that, took batteries or used electricity, I loved. And, my my mom could depend on me to fix things around the house. I just had a knack for it.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
So, and then you started this business, and so I mean, what do you think is the best way people can take charge of their life for better with all the knowledge that you have? You read a lot, and there's some books you recommended on your website, and I've actually read all three of those books. You have Think and Grow Rich, you have Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you have The Secret. I've read all those books, and they are just amazing books. So, what's the best way people can create change?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the best way people can create change in their life is first knowing and understanding what they want. Right. I think that's the first step is finding out what it is that you want the most in life. Right. And because once you know what you want, that begins to give you a vision. Right. It's hard to move forward and see where you're going without vision. Right. So once you understand and know what you want, then you can start, you know, gathering the building blocks that are going to take you there. Right. But it first starts with the mindset and having that vision. Right. Because the vision is going to create the mindset. The mindset is going to create the emotions and the feelings and the actions in order to fulfill that vision. Right. And I feel like, you know, a lot of times people get caught up in their current reality and their current circumstances. And it's hard to see past that because they don't have a vision. Right. And, you know, it's hard to see beyond your current environment or your current circumstance without any goals or without understanding what you want and having that vision. And it can be very difficult for people, especially when they're in survival mode,
Mhm.
right? Because when you're in survival mode, it's really, really hard to see 3 years out, 5 years out, and, you know, having a plan for the vision that you're trying to achieve. So, you know, there's different tools and different things that you can do to kind of take yourself out of that, you know, survival mode. And that's what we teach. You know, we talk a lot about meditation. We talk a lot about visualization. We talk a lot about, you know, using affirmations to really, you know, take yourself out of that current circumstance and kind of reprogram the mind in order to be able to see and create that vision and to take yourself out of your current circumstances and transform your life into what you really truly want.
That's really powerful. I think you're right, because when people find themselves in a situation they don't feel they can get out of, it's really very hard for them to visualize getting out of that situation, because like you said, they are on survival mode, and they're looking at immediate needs. So when you start talking about, oh, what are your goals for down the line, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, they can't really see it, they can't visualize it. And sometimes that has to do also with their environment. You see, if they haven't visualized what it's like to um, live by the beach, and beachfront, they've never seen a beachfront property, they've never been in one, they've never seen one. It's hard to visualize that. So a lot of the times people are just hustling. I mean, I came from Nigeria, and I know that to try to, you know, get out of Nigeria and, go to the UK, and from there come here, I had to do a lot of what you're talking about, which is writing the vision. I really had to do that to push my goals
Mhm.
ahead. But you see, if you haven't gone to the airport, for instance, and you don't know what it's like to be on a plane, sometimes it's very hard to visualize these things. So you may just have to have pictures around you of airplanes or pictures of beachfront property, and because without seeing it, your mind cannot visualize some of these things. So is that kind of what you're talking about, like the power of imagination, trying to imagine yourself at the airport, imagine yourself in the plane, imagine yourself in the kind of job you want, or having the kind of lifestyle you want? Um, it's
Yeah.
it's very powerful, because I've been reading up on exactly what you're saying about goal writing and vision and imagination and driving your goals. So that's really wonderful that you're talking about it, because I've just been reading about it this past week.
Imagination is one of our greatest powers,
Mhm,
right? And and that's why, kids, they use their imagination so much, and they're able to really take themselves out of their current environment, right?
mhm,
And the beautiful thing about it is, when you get into the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, when you're imagining something, your mind and your body actually doesn't know the difference, whether it's happening or it's not happening, right? So your body is actually reacting and actually building the neural pathways in your brain and building the connections as if it's already happening. So when you're actually visualizing you in that dream job, or that relationship that you want, or you know that amazing vacation that you desire, your mind and your body doesn't know the difference. So what's going to happen is, like I said, your brain is going to start building the hardware, right, to make you able to actually create that reality for yourself, right? And you're going to start thinking thoughts and aligning with that in order for it to happen in real life, right? And
yes.
like, let's say somebody imagining, let's say somebody imagining having a great interview before they go into the interview, right? Now, what's going to happen is, before they go into the interview, their mind is going to start connecting things. It's going to start building connections in their mind. So when they go into the interview, they will be more confident. They will be able to recall information a little bit better, right? Because their mind is already building the faculties for them to have that great interview. So things that they thought they might have forgotten, they might be able to recall easily because they've done the visualization, right? So there's something physical that's actually happening in the brain when you visualize as well. It's not like this magical thing, it's actually science. Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally relate, because one of my first interviews, I remember going to buy a suit that I called the power suit. And it was really above my budget. I really couldn't afford it. I had just finished my training and I couldn't afford this. So I went to Nordstrom and I picked out a very expensive suit and I called it my power suit. And, I said to myself, anywhere I wear this suit to, any interview I wear this suit to, I'm going to get the job.
Right, right.
And so, I mean, and that has really happened. I mean, I still have the suit, and everywhere I go without wearing that suit, I get the job. So
Yeah,
I call it my power suit, is my power dressing. So that's kind of along that same mindset. You have to kind of use your imagination, which I think as we get older, we sort of lose that ability to play. The imagination that we had as kids, we as we get older, we sort of we don't build up on that imagination.
right, right.
And I think that's where sometimes we get lost, because as kids, I remember playing and dreaming of traveling abroad, because we always watch TV and we saw such nice things. And I wanted to go abroad from the time I was 12 or 13, because I was watching Western TV. So I became influenced by what I saw. So that imagination for me was really strong as a kid. But as I've gotten older, I'm sort of losing that ability to imagine, you see?
Yeah.
So that is where, one has to just reset and say, okay, what do you want to accomplish? And, you have to try to visualize these things, write your goals, and, exactly everything you've said. So you're on point with everything, because I can totally relate to everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
even what you said about the power suit is
Mm-hmm.
that you created a belief,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what's stronger than a thought, an idea, or hope is a belief, right? Once you have that belief, it's going to consistently create or manifest itself into reality. So you creating that belief about the suit, and then also having physical experiences to, back that up, only
Mm-hmm.
makes that belief stronger, you know,
Right, right.
practice.
Yeah, because once you wear your power suit and you go for an interview, I mean, you just feel, okay, this job is mine. Like, and then you act that way, and whatever you say is all aligned. And the people interviewing, you see the passion, they see the drive, and they say, oh wow, she really wants this job. And that projects, but the power suit is really something sort of visible that you could see. Of course, in your mind, yes, you want the job, but then the power suit is sort of the physical, shall I say, inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I recommend everybody get a power suit. If you're going for a job, get that power suit. It's so worth it, I tell you, because once you put it on, you feel different. You feel different, you act different, you act confidently, and then you get to the interview and you really project that. And I tell you, my past suit is like over 20 years old, but it still works for me.
No, that's awesome.
It still
It's,
works for me.
there's like a 4-step process to getting results,
Mm-hmm.
right? Once you have the thought, the belief is the action. The belief is the feeling, right? It's thoughts, feelings, actions, and then results, right? So once you have the thought, which is kind of like the vision, then you have the belief, which is that feeling and that emotion, right? Which once you have that, you start to act different. Like you said, once you put
Mm-hmm.
that suit on, you start
Mm-hmm.
acting different,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in turn, you act different. Now you get the results that you want. You end up
Mm-hmm.
getting the job, right?
Yeah.
So it's that process with everything.
Yeah. So tell me about your company, what you do, and how you help people obtain financial freedom.
Yeah, so the mastermind group, we're built on 3 pillars, which I think keep people in alignment to really just becoming better versions of themselves, right? Personal development, mindfulness, and financial literacy, right? So we have different classes throughout the week. We have a community, we have accountability group, we have a book club, we have a community of traders and investors. But everything that we do is about educating people to how to stay in alignment with those 3 areas of life, right? And those 3 areas of life can span different things, right? Having discipline, self-discipline, having a routine, um, focusing on gratitude, right? Time management, emotional intelligence, healing from trauma, the list goes on and on and on. So in all areas of helping people just become better, right? In all areas of life, that's what we focus on. And when it comes to financial literacy, I've been investing in the stock market over 8 years now, and I've learned a lot, just from my trial and error. So I teach people really just how to understand the market and how to get started and how to invest your money smartly, right? Because it's a very dangerous thing if you don't understand and know what you're doing, right? And there's a lot of different things that you can get mixed up into if you don't really have that guidance. So I really help people get started, and we talk about long-term investing, we talk about swing trading, we talk about short-term trading as well. And that deals with ETFs, individual stocks, index funds, and also option trading, which is a little bit more high leverage, but it's a great way to increase your capital.
Okay. So how often do you have the training sessions? Once a week? Is it virtual or in person?
Yeah, so we usually meet on Zoom, um, and we usually have about well, the community is set up so we have like morning calls Monday through Friday. So every morning we have a call, and then also we have classes on Wednesday. We have book club meetings on Tuesdays. We have our think tank, personal development sessions on Thursdays. And then, once a month on Saturdays, we meet for the accountability group. And then we also have every week a spiritual Sundays where we talk about, our connection to that higher power, our faith, and our relationship with God. So it's a packed schedule. So our members get a lot of value, throughout the week.
Mhm. So what age range is your target audience?
We have people, from ages about like 25 and up, right? But we're very open to, the younger crowd, 20, 21 to 25. Actually, we have members that are in that age group,
Mhm.
right? Because there's not really an age limit to anybody that's really trying to improve their lives, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's increasing your income, getting more healthy, right? Improving your mindset, right? All of these different things, I believe, really don't have any age limit. And I think anybody truly can benefit, from it, right? And helping business owners, we even have a program. We just partnered with Sky Credit. So we're helping business owners get business credit, you
Mhm.
know. So I don't, there's not really a limit, especially when it comes to the community,
Mhm.
because we're all in there to network. And whether you're 18 or whether you're 40, if you're both on the same path and want the same things in life,
Mhm.
um, that's the principle of the mastermind group, right? Like-minded people coming together and, creating something great from that.
Okay, that's really brilliant. So I've enjoyed talking to you. And before we head out, can you share just one pearl of wisdom with the audience?
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I would say, your income and your value in life always comes back to the amount of value that you can add to people,
Mhm.
right? So I would say pour into yourself as much as you can, right? Invest in yourself, whether it's books, courses, trainings, whatever your field is, pour in and invest in yourself, because the amount of value that you have, that is the amount of value that you can add to other people, right? So there's always, like I said, we have a book club, but I would always say, educate yourself, develop a skill, right? And I think the successful people in life, it all comes down to the same thing. It's the same recipe, it's the same formula, right? It's, invest your money, save your money, invest in assets, right? Develop a skill, right? And add value to people.
Okay.
Add value to people. That's all what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we can find you on Instagram, MJ The Mastermind, and also at the Mastermind Group LLC. And the links to your website, YouTube channel will be in the show notes. So I want to thank you so much for coming on to the program. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ngozi. I really enjoyed it. It was a pleasure.
All right. Take care now.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.